Bizarro World time, everyone. Welcome to the Wall of Weird. I'm Nicole. That is Lisa. And we are going to review Sueprman and Lois, Season 2, Episode 10, Bizarro in a Bizarro World. So we finally get to learn more about Bizarro and where he came from, what his life was like. So ready to jump in? Let's go. First, we get to see this crazy world. It is a square, and so is the sun, a red sun, for that matter. And what I found interesting about this is, so Sueprman comes out. There's kryptonite around in the cave, opposite of the ex-kryptonite, which doesn't seem to bother him, by the way. I guess he wasn't close enough. Who knows? He's still able to get out of the cave. He flies into space. He looks a little bit distressed. But see, what I remember from Sueprman being exposed to the red sun in the Arrowverse is pretty much immediately he loses his power. It does not happen here, does it, Lisa?
Well, it does diminish him, because when he gets to the farm, he's saying it's having an effect on him. So it's not immediate, but it's probably he's got some sort of charge still from the yellow sun, so it's reducing his power, but not immediate.
Yeah, it's reducing slightly, but we're not seeing anything immediately or drastic. He still seems to have all of his powers, just maybe
because it's not like he falls out the sky straight away.
Right, I was expecting him to fall out of the sky. I was thinking, you're an idiot for flying into space right now. But, I guess they wanted to give us the view of the Bizarro world. And then he goes to the fortress and his mom is there. Oh, and the rise and fall of our hero, Kal-El. So that was our first clue that he kept his name and his full identity on this universe.
I don't think he was ever Clark Kent on this world. There's no mention of the Clarks. They bought a farm. The move to Smallville. He wasn't brought up by the Kents, so he was always Kal-El.
So it's not clear who brought him up then.
And also, as later we get to see the story with Tal as well.
Yeah, and it's also, how did he know who he was? And he obviously, the world knew he didn't have a separate identity here at all. He had one identity. He's talking to his mom, and who shows up? Jonathan. And I'm thinking, he's kind of interrupting his mom, telling him some important information. So how do we all of a sudden trust this Jonathan from another world? I was a little bit uncertain right away. And then we get into the L family, because they all took on L's. So apparently he still ended up with Lois and had two twin boys. But Jonathan was the one that got powers.
And Clark was surprised with that. Our Clark.
Right. And Kal-El was a celebrity. And he spent a lot of time being a celebrity, a celebrity figure, doing interviews, all the fame that came with it, and all those responsibilities, which ended up taking precedence over him being a father. So that didn't. And Jordan was not much of anything, right? Like, he was very quiet,
very shy.
Very shy, and
he might still have had his anxieties. Yeah.
And Jonathan starts off good by saying, my dad's just sitting there and he's more concerned about fame than saving someone. And so he goes off and he saves this guy falling, and then everyone's like, yay. And at first it's okay. And then but then his dad didn't really want to help him with his powers. Yeah, like our Clark. And then,
well, he's still 15. He's still
Yeah,
a
but
boy.
he still needs
Yeah.
help to
Mm.
I mean, Jonathan did a better job of helping with his powers. I'm just saying, in Smallville. And then yeah, he lets the fame take over, and then what do you know? Allie brainwashes little Jonathan, and he just becomes a problem, and Lois ends up leaving Kal-El because of how he failed the family. And
It
then
just goes to show, though, our Clark did a lot better job at raising a family because he had a family. He was raised by the Kents. So, that interaction shaped our Clark, whereas Kal-El Bizarro just didn't have that. And he kind of
he let the godlike power get to his
yeah.
head too. He wasn't well grounded. And he was taking kryptonite to enhance his powers, which had side effects. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
where
well,
he
bad
got,
side effects.
yeah.
And that's how we ended up with a white face when he
Yeah,
came
that's
to
how
our Earth.
he ended up here, and we finally, but he realized the mistake that he made, and he was going to try to make it right. And, we met, General Lane over there, and Jonathan was even going to go after Grandpa. He held off a little bit, but Jonathan, I did not like this version of Jonathan at all. I could not stand him. Just did not have anything redeemable whatsoever. Just didn't like him at all.
He was trying to make his own stamp on the world, be, the next generation of hero, and, to stand out from his father.
Yeah, and so he ends up, Anderson comes through, and he tries to merge with his other self, and Allie was not going to let that happen. And she told Jonathan to kill him.
And he did.
With his heat breath. Wow, I never killed anyone before.
And it's probably not going to be the last time either.
No, and I mean, you can't call yourself a hero if you're killing.
Mm-hmm.
And that changed Anderson. That's the next story that I enjoyed. I really
His redemption.
I really enjoyed his redemption, although predictable. I enjoyed it at least. I didn't really enjoy Jonathan's backstory. I mean, I was more like, okay, well, it's interesting to see where they came from, but I just didn't like like the darkness of the family and just the overall vibe I was getting from them. Just not really a big fan.
Well, that's
Anderson
what being
on
a celebrity can do for you. You're too busy,
oh yeah.
Doing your endorsements and hanging out with President Seinfeld.
Yeah, it definitely can mess with your head. It's not good for the soul. Anderson, on the other hand, he starts to try to get away and try to find. Well, he knows Bizarro's dead, and he realizes what he did was wrong, which was great. And he's trying to find Lois, and then he finally finds Lois at the same time that our Superman is with Lois and learning that Jonathan is not so good here. And he gives Clark the pendants. Now, why didn't
they kind of shook hands, didn't they?
You know what? This stuff drives me absolutely up the wall because this character can fly and has super speed, and as soon as he had those pendants, he knew that he was weakened by this world. He knew that Allie and her double were in this world. This world was not a safe place for the pendants. He should have just gotten right out of there right away instead of doing the face off. But it's television, so of course
we've got to have drama.
We got to have drama. And before we go really too deep into the face-off, we learn about Tauro. Now, Tauro I liked on this reality.
Yeah, because he didn't have his domineering father, and he had a brother, so they had a true brother friendship, which I quite enjoyed. Yeah,
I did enjoy that. I really enjoyed that part. This actually was the part of the episode that I enjoyed the most. Was the brotherhood between Kal-El and Tauro.
And being so happy that he was, going to become an uncle.
Yes, and then he marries Lana.
I don't know how you can have a game of pool with square balls, though. There were square balls on the table. That made me laugh. They just don't roll like a ball does.
Right? Yes, I remember seeing that. Yes.
And square glasses as well in the bar.
Yes. And what kind of tore them apart was, again, Allie. But then you see Tauro redeem himself. So with Anderson, first, before we, get there, I knew that he was going to die. Like, as soon as he was saying all these redeemable things and fighting for good, I said, he's gonna die. He did.
He got knocked out. Did he actually die?
Well, he had blood coming out of his mouth, so to me it seemed kind of like very likely that he was dead.
If he's still got a little bit of lingering of XK, he could still possibly,
He's like,
yeah. Now,
that looks like a death scene to me.
What we found here, that Tal was on the side of Ali purely for Lana. It was Lana who was in the cult. Yes. Yeah, so he was supporting his wife. So, Tal sort of like, sticks up for his brother rather than his wife in the end.
He does. He ends up letting Clark go to go stop Jonathan from going after his Jonathan. He said, go save your son. So that was a great moment, and I enjoyed that. Again, highlight of the episode.
Because Lana was bad in this, but I think that was the cult influence, and possibly, being juiced up.
And then we end with Jonathan meeting Jonathan. And are they going to merge? And we have this merging going on with Allie as well. So we're not sure what is actually going to happen with that and why she needed Jonathan to merge with Jonathan, right? Because it seems like it's not like a one-time thing. There's other things that are going on that she needs. She has more to her plan.
Yeah, she's taking over the world. But Lois, she is still, doing an undercover, going against Ali, even though Ali's kind of like got all these followers and is practically running the country, running the world.
Yes, but they have they censor themselves though, because they've got this regime to worry about, right? So they try to do things in hidden.
So if Lois, if we didn't have Clark Kent, I wonder how Lois met Cal and how they got together, because they weren't working together on the Daily Planet, were they?
And also, how did Lana end up with Tauro?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was a bar. She
did look kind of hot in the bar when she was serving him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was a celebrity because he was the brother of.
And the world's
my
most
question was,
how come
I'm surprised that the public embraced Kal-El and his powers and let him walk around free and do what he wanted. I'm actually surprised about that. I don't think that that's how the public would react. I think you'd see more of a reaction like we saw in Smallville. It's
still a bizarro world, and they're still kind of like opposites. So
people are weird over there, I guess.
Status. Yeah. But Lois, in the end, she, she was still Cal's rock, and she left him. because he was too busy taking kryptonite and going down the junkie route that she left him for the sake of Jordan. Yeah. And
Yes.
she really got angry about how she let Cal get away with it as well, because it was Cal's interaction or lack of interaction with Jonathan that turned him, towards Ellie.
Yes. And yeah, so she did it for Jordan. But at the end, Kal-El apologized, and
Yeah.
he really was trying to make it better and come around and redeem himself, and that's why he went over. So it's kind of added a little bit of sadness to his death over there.
Mm-hmm.
Although he did kill someone. That soldier.
2 soldiers. Jesse, yeah.
All right, 2 soldiers.
Yeah, there's 2 of them, weren't there? Yeah.
Which wasn't really necessary.
Mm-hmm.
He was on a very determined mission, but maybe he just didn't care as much about that world. But
plus he was also
people.
probably still, juiced up on kryptonite, which, well, we saw what effects of kryptonite had in Smallville. It made the freaks of the week, mad.
So it kind of gives us a clue to what would happen if Clark was to take X kryptonite. So we were wondering what kind of side effects there would be. It would make him more powerful, but it would come with some bad side effects.
Mind, yeah.
Which means it might be affecting the mind of other people taking X kryptonite that are not superpowered.
Yeah. Like how Lana, sided with Valley so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then went with Jonathan looking after Project 7734 in the DOD. And Rossetti's still alive as well, because, Morgan Edge didn't kill him, or he didn't kill himself, because there wasn't that whole other story.
Right.
Like we had in ours. And we had no John Irons.
It's true, because John Irons actually came from a different Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So any last comments on this episode?
Yeah, the fortress looked like a museum. It looked like it had a car lot outside, and there was like a sleeping security guard in the front. Did you notice it?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Yes, it was a museum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found that funny. Yeah, so yeah, I like the story of Bizarro and Talro being brothers. So and that's what Tal missed out on in Earthbrine.
But maybe there's a potential there.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a potential.
Yeah,
we've been seeing it this season, so that might be more hints towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, with Lana single.
No, she's seen the bad side of Morgan Edge. I don't think she'd go for Talro. I don't think he's redeemable. She'd have to be on XK to do that.
All right, let's wrap it up with our score. Lisa, what are you going to give this one?
I did like the episode. I know a lot of people didn't. I think that was because there were, a lot of time jumping and going back between the backstories. But if you watch it more than once, I quite enjoyed the episode. 3.5.
So I'll say this. I actually didn't mind the time jumping and things. I actually liked that.
No, I liked it, but some people didn't.
I know I'm saying, but
yeah.
I liked that aspect of it. I really didn't like. I was almost getting bored with the Jonathan story because I just didn't feel compelled by the character. I didn't like this celebrity show. I don't know. It wasn't really that fun to me. It was just, ugh, you know, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I
it
liked,
was more like, you know, the Kardashians, but the
yeah,
L
which
version.
exactly, which I don't like. So that's probably why I was completely turned off by that story. The Anderson and Tauro did redeem the story for me, the episode for me, where, you know, it was really losing me until that part. Um, that's why I'm really having a hard time. You know, I've given other episodes 3. I feel like I have to go lower on this one because I just didn't, even though I really liked that part, I think that was only like half the episode, less than half the episode. So I'm gonna have to do a 2.5 for this one. It's a little bit below the mark for me. And yep, that's why.
I still liked it because I liked the aspect of, you know, the other world, the alternative reality.
It was, I've seen a lot of, I have no problem with alternate realities and I usually like them. Just didn't like this alternate usually they're fun, you know? I mean, it wasn't fun. Like the main element of it, you know?
Yeah.
And like even Bad Jonathan wasn't fun, you know? Like he wasn't doing fun things. He was doing more like Kardashian things. It's not fun.
Hanging around in bars when you're 15 as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not compelled by it. You know, I really enjoyed when we got to see the loser world in Smallville. We also got to see the other alternate reality when he in Apocalypse. You know, that was cool. You know, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
That's
one,
because we still had the Kents. Yeah. So this world's missing Clark Kent. It's just Cal.
it's not even a good. It's like the worst part of him. I don't know. Like not. I just didn't like the celebrity Cal.
It'd be
It
more
was
grounded
that
if
he
it'd been
embraced
brought up
it
by the
too. It
Kents.
wasn't just that he was a celebrity, but that he really embraced it, and it just was. Ugh, didn't like it. Sorry, it's just personal taste. That's my personal taste. So we just had someone join us. I don't know if they want to give their rating for this episode, and we can get it live on the air real quick. No.
Who is it?
All right. Well, we'll close this up. Thank you all for watching, and please hit the like, subscribe, and if you hit the notification button, then you'll know when we're live, and you can tell us your opinion, which may be way different than mine and Lisa, and it would be fun. So thank you for watching.
And we have another episode tonight.
Another new episode tonight. So see you soon.